Okay, folks, welcome back. I'm Napoleon Complex, and we have a bit of an issue here in Egypt. So I've checked the taxes back up, and I've organized my forces because we have a very powerful general coming towards us. Now, I may be overestimating the threat a little bit, because at the end of the day, I do have a solid wall of Almohad armed militia available to me. And these will be able to deal with the individual spearman units. But I found Bedouin camel warriors to sometimes be surprisingly tough, and especially when they have high valor like this, I could be in for a really difficult fight. So I think what we're going to do is we are going to make a counterattack. I don't like giving up my only archers. So let's see. I think the first unit I want to make sure that is in my army when it first goes forward is the camels. However, I seem to have all the camels I've got, so probably next best is the Almohad Urban Militia. The Saharan horse are not going to be good for this simply because they are horsemen and we are facing camels, and horses are afraid of camels. So we're going to counterattack in Sinai, and I reckon I can pull it off with this army. Now that I've got the attack bonus. Hopefully should be able to get rid of a lot of Egypt's leadership as well. If we can go after the small units with 9 camels, that would be ideal. Okay. Moving on, we're still getting raided by the Italians, and annoyingly they've managed to get to ashore. So these are Genoese sailors. That means my archers on their own and my Mourbitans won't be able to take care of them. I will need to dispatch some other units to help. So I'll send my archer corps in. Thankfully, the Italians and Liston, they could be in the Atlantic Ocean, and that could be how they're getting boats around. I'm going to engage in a small naval engagement on the Barbary Coast. As you may have gathered, I have taken a look around. I suppose under the circumstances I could send my Sultan into fight. He's got 2 command stats and he at least has a bodyguard. I'm a little bit worried about public order problems. And we'll make sure we move our troops out as well. Hopefully with my navy up and running now, I can start to pick away at this, these Italian ships. And I've spent my money for the turn. Next turn. They pull back immediately. That's good. I think I forgot to decide what I was going to do in France. But that's fine, I'd like to take care of this little mini emergency first. My computer's roaring at me. Your screen hasn't frozen, it's just taking this long to load. Here we go. So, lots of archers, lots of javelin, possibly not the best units for this fight, but it's what I had available to me. I think we're going to go long line, so I want my archers like so. Javelinmen out on the wings so they can swing around. And the cavalry out on the extremes, because they will be very vulnerable to enemy missile fire. But once they charge in, they will cause a lot of casualties. I say cause a lot of casualties and not cause a massacre because this is still expert mode and I actually don't know how this is going to go if I just charge my small bodyguard units in there. All of my units are still going to need to work together, even with the king involved. Right, where are they going? Right. Let's set up a bit more appropriately then. Can we draw out any further than that? They're going to struggle to shoot. Right, more like this. Ideally. Just how long do I have to make this line? There. I wonder where they're going. Okay. Keep my cavalry away for the moment. I don't want to be getting into a battle here. Those archers are starting to turn back. Fortunately, our veterans on the right will have been slowed down by the hill. But if they start to come up here... okay, they're already shooting at us. Go back. Going to try and move up on their sides. Those Murabithans down in the valley are just going to have to hurry. They're not going to participate in the battle otherwise. You guys are going to have to get into closer quarters than that. Right, but it would probably help if I actually told my troops to start shooting. Well, this is awfully convenient. Thank you. Please stand facing away from me. It makes my job so much easier. Okay, and my troops have arrived. So the enemy's lost the small positional advantage they gained there. Okay. Let's get the bodyguard behind and the Murabithans to the side. Get my archers to press up so that they can shoot at those units on the hill, and I'm just going to ask these units to charge. Okay, get a couple of volleys off. Make sure I time this right. You boys are in trouble now, aren't you? I can't be too proud of my performance in this battle, it was rather mediocre. But still, it's ending the right way. That's the main thing. I shouldn't have let my Murabithans get caught out of position like that. So the enemy pulling back in Sinai, this may be less of a crisis and more of a Chryslet. Or a Chrysler. That's a good brand of car, I think. I don't know much about American cars. Alright, this is done.
Your warriors have captured the enemy general.
More money for me, please. They destroyed my fort. I'm gonna have to rebuild all of that. I should think so. We outnumbered them 3-1. Oh, and our king has achieved a whole 3 stars of generalship. Over the moon. Right, we'll have to leave a garrison there. And I suppose these units can head on. Now I move my king there, that's going to affect unrest, and we can see that Egypt is on unrest and so is Algeria. So I was lucky not to suffer rebellions there. Let's see. I'll send some militia home to keep that in check. Sultan Amistali has lost a lot of influence because his empire is now very small, and he's the one in charge in Palestine. I'm still really going to struggle to get to Palestine. Okay, so we're back where we started, which in my campaigns is usually a big victory. Arabia is not very valuable, so that's really what I want to do is attack into Palestine next, but I'm not going to get out of Sinai with this level. Main investments for this turn will be the 2 forts in the Vare. So it's 5100. I'll quickly check my. Let's see, so I'll be recruiting. I think this will be a 1650 turn, so it'll be 2400, I reckon, and 50. Okay. Does seem to be the way of it, things. Oh yeah, and we're also. I think I've trained enough bodyguards. So 1650. Right. Let's see, so that gives me about 3500 to spend this turn. And I think I'll check North Africa because that's quite economically underdeveloped at the moment. And not really. Egypt, that's a no-brainer. So at least 2000 to spend. And it would be nice if it wasn't to spend. Well, I can't afford that. I guess I will once again try for farmland in Granada. Let's just do a quick overview of our taxation system. No, let's do military movements first because that'll change all of that. Toulouse. Anjou. Normandy. We must be able to do something with these armies now. But it's annoying that the Italians, once again, they've got ships all the way up here, and they could have ships in the Atlantic Ocean, which will complicate matters as well. Why can none of you inspire fear? This is the Middle Ages. There should be tons of scary individuals around. There are probably 5 living on my street. Oh, hang it. The Vare isn't worth much. You take the job. And at least you can count, you can have Brittany. Why would I take the militia? Unless they're Almohads or militia, militia suck. That shouldn't push me over. Right, ideally I want to deliver the coup de grace to France now, so let's drop the tax in Anjou. That should be more than enough to take Ile-de-France. But we never leave the province unoccupied. Let's move some teams of archers and one of my junior generals up north. I say junior general, he's a prince, but he's not a very good prince. Incidentally, who's my heir? Of course. Another 2-star heir. That's ideal. And what about in Normandy? I suppose we could theoretically strike at Flanders. Oh, and we do want to as well, because they are now recruiting feudal sergeants, so the Europeans are starting to catch up to us in technology. Let's take a look at that, shall we? These units are just arriving this turn. So this army is all archers and ballistas and things. So we're looking at 4 archers and some insignificant peasants. 7 units of archers, some chaff basically, and 1 good unit of feudal sergeants. I think even though we're outnumbered, we can win that. It's a bit of a gamble. These troops have to stay here. We need something guarding Aquitaine after last time. And because of these pains. Oh yes, and thank you for obligingly walking your ships into sinking range. So now I get to use my whole fleet. I don't even have to start expanding out yet. And that will start to loosen the blockade as they lose ships. Right. Move some of these units. Keep one in the south. Is there anything we should be moving? Right. Next turn. It is a big force, isn't it? However, look at the forces they have. We can do it. Come on, let's show some courage. Okay, nothing complicated here. Flanders is one of the wealthiest provinces in the game. If you control Flanders, you are well on your way to being one of the most powerful factions in the map in the long term. As long as you can actually produce troops to go with that. So as you can imagine, I'm quite excited to be here. Let's save some time and spread these archers out, but I know I'll be dueling enemy archers. But because their infantry is not very good, what I think I'll do is I'll move my heavy infantry over to the extreme flanks. Not so far that they're out of contact, but far enough. I have a smattering of other units. I'll position them on the flanks. And I'll leave my Berber camels and maybe try and swing them around. Spread these archers out. Right. I need to handle. Oops. Need to handle camels separately so they're not joining our group. I just told them to run, didn't I? Curses. Thankfully it wasn't very far. Alright, that's getting close enough. Anything coming out to meet us yet? Very passive AI so far. Right, you lot get out there and open the battle. I didn't pay much attention to... Really? They're not shooting back yet? Oh, they are. Hold this part back, kind of. Not being able to pause really sucks sometimes. Okay, keep rolling them up. I know we're under ballista fire, I really couldn't care. I really could care less. The ballistas are just not very effective in this game. I can stand under them all day unless I manage to get a lucky hit on my general or something. Okay, move up my line archers to join the battle. And we are just obliterating them. These peasants as well. And I think I'm going to order a charge at this point. Just smash in that corner of the line. And the camels. Get in there. Yes, I can see troops hiding behind there. Those feudal sergeants don't scare me. Not on their own. If there was another 4 units of them, I might start to get a little bit concerned. Archers, since we're going into melee, you guys can overrun the enemy ballistas. This won't take long. Don't want my camels getting into trouble so they can come in flank here. The Norabethans are just spreading disruption. Those archers are gone, don't bother with them anymore. Even if they rally, they won't cause much trouble. Break that artillery line, it's what's keeping a lot of their troops in the fight. They are maybe getting a bit too far away. Pull back. Come into their rear. Close up. No reason to be in loose formation anymore. We just obliterated them. Right, those feudal sergeants are now coming out to fight. Don't let them go for my camels. They can taste my general instead. Taste my general. That doesn't sound very nice. They can fight my general instead. I suppose a better word would have been to taste my general's steel. Probably best not to throw my camels into that, even with the side attack they'll take heavy casualties. Wouldn't it be ironic if my general died now? Well, it's about to become 3-on-1 against 3 units of elite Almohad armed militia. More enemy archers coming out onto the field now. But I seriously doubt they can do anything to us. Those feudal sergeants are fighting us ferociously. I'm still not going to throw in my reserves. We're crying out loud. The edge of the field. It's quite a large edge of the field, though I suppose there's not the normal massive hill at the side of the field. We actually saw them spawn in. I don't think I've ever seen that before. See how long this lasts. Are we still fighting them?
The enemy general is in full flight.
Yes, don't shoot the massive peasants, shoot the one guy who's in melee with your own soldiers. These desert archers are definitely not getting any commendations after this battle. You guys stop chasing after the enemy and come and help. I see no reason to take that melee fight. Now I do. I think my Almohad armed militia might actually be in trouble here. I underestimated just how hard this is going to be, and I underestimated this bodyguard.
Your warriors have captured the enemy general.
That should help. And I'm missing his valor bonus. That should be the end of it. Did it take them that long to track down the enemy general? Well, that's not unusual in Medieval 1. Right, let's speed this up. I don't think the French have anywhere to go anyway, so once Paris is gone, we'll capture this entire army. Or, oh, well, we'll retreat to the castle. Good. They're retreating from the Ile de France. Oh, Champagne. They still hold Champagne. Okay. Really? We're outnumbered. Probably due to the large unit sizes. So am I going to fight this one? Still have a lot of units that could lose. Can we swap out these Saharan cavalry for these camels? Let's quickly reorder this so that makes some degree of sense. Right. Alright, I'm not hanging back anymore. Let's deal with this. Good defensive terrain. And the thing is, those camels will be more effective in the desert, and my Almohad armed militia is slightly less dangerous because they'll get tired more quickly. I think if we can hold this ridge, we'll be fine. Or, you know, maybe the massive hell might help. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the massive hell. Rather than the tiny, little easily encirclable ridge. Okay. Place a unit here because we'll probably extend our line. I don't see anything getting through this part of my line very easily. I have the Arbor Militia in the back. I want my general's unit kept separate and distinct so I don't chuck him in accidentally. So having your general be a unit of Arbor Militia or other weak units is obviously not a good thing. I have archers up here. Bedouin camels can be on the flanks because they're actually strong enough to fight. And the Saharan cavalry need to stay back. Because they're really not up to fighting anything on this battlefield. They're there basically as emergency support and for pursuit once the enemy breaks. I think I've changed my mind. I will send the archers out to fight. Fire immediately. So it's not the Nubian spearmen I'm afraid of, it's the camels. And there are a lot of camels out there. Their unit size may be small, but they'll be powerful enough in expert mode, and they are sending them around to flank. Okay. Right, what I'm going to do in that case is I'm going to pull a few units out of this line and move them back into the reserves. These units will be a good candidate for that. They are the ones attacking me, so they are the ones who are obligated to attack the strong position. I guess we'll get into a duel with the Desert Archers if they give us no other choice. Their real target are the Bedouin Camel Warriors. Okay, danger here is obvious. They are coming round to envelop my flank. Keep those Bedouins back slightly. I'm going to slightly invert my line. These Arbor Militia may be able to catch them on the flank. And I'm going to stop talking now because this is when it gets serious. Pick at me all you want. I've got this tight fist of infantry and I'm not going to disperse it by charging forward. And you've been kind enough to present your general to us. Well, thank you so much for that. I'm going to exploit that. Right, what is going on in the rest of the battlefield? Okay. I guess we're committed now. What's happening at the rest of the battlefield? That looks like time to throw in our reserves already. Attack. Okay, I can see where this is going. Charge! Right, throw everything in now. Hopefully they'll break and that will cause a bit of a panic. These guys are falling into my trap here. What's going on elsewhere? Hopefully the enemy army's starting to fall into chaos. Uh-oh. Something like that. They've been caught out on the limb. Which means I've had to throw my troops in there. That's dangerous. These Saharan cavalry won't do very well in the melee, but at least they can get a flank attack in. Right. There's nothing else left. Throw whatever we've got at the enemy now. Gaps somehow opened up in our line here. Well then, charge them in the side. The enemy are pulling this back. If we can cause a break here, potentially win this side of the fight because we're quite well concentrated. Lots of troops wavering. We've managed to break through here. And that's probably going to start rolling at my line. Come on. Oh. I didn't think we could possibly lose that charge. We're hitting them downhill with very strong infantry. Rally horns. Just try and reorganize, get everything we can back to the fight. Start pulling the general back. How the hell did we lose that? Right, catch them on the flank. See, this is why I didn't fight this battle before. But I thought we could withstand it this time. Oh, come on. Get him out. Get the general out of here. If we lose him, the campaign's done.
Has made cowardice and caution his masters. He flees.
What a mess. At least we killed a lot of them as well. Hopefully they'll ransom the troops back. Look at the banners on the camels! Oh god, no. We don't want to give them more kills. Well, we gave as good as we got, at least. Yeah, it was the other... Look at the casualty lists. Well, this unit didn't do very well, but most of my urban militia did extremely... This unit killed 322 people. And of course, they're the ones who ended up fighting to the death. This might have lost me the campaign. All because I couldn't be patient. I'm gonna have to retreat to the stronghold here. Fine, we'll pay for them. I mean, what can I say? I even predicted this would happen last time we were in this situation. Thankfully, we got most of the army back. And I think that hopefully softened the Egyptians up to such an extent that we'll be able to beat them next time. I'm more embarrassed than anything else. I should have judged that better. Well, I don't think they'll be able to attack onwards from Sinai. In fact, if we counterattack now, we might get it back. This unit is extremely dangerous. It's got 4 banners now. And now we've got a permanent debuff to our morale for this general. Is he the only one with it, or are all my commanders affected? Good runner is annoying. Right. I'm going to take a fleet out raiding with my general. I'm going to try and break this blockade by capturing the Straits of Gibraltar. That way they'll only be able to threaten the west coast. On the plus side, the French king is now restrained to a tiny little area around Champagne. Really? Oh god. Loyalty is apocalyptically bad here. Okay, I need to sort that out now. I'm going to move out of Anjou. Right. Oh goody, 46. I need a high dread general. Anyone will do at this point. I know I've got a 2-star. Okay, maybe not quite anyone. Fine. I might need to use a diplomat to get the province back afterwards. What about in Normandy? Normandy's not under full control. Brittany? Brittany can't really lend me any troops. Great, so I've got a 1 in 3 chance of there being a rebellion there next turn. And the situation of Flanders is terrible. I wasn't expecting unrest to be this bad. I'm having a hard time accounting for why it's so bad. Okay. Well, they're trying to attack us with peasants. That's usually a good sign. Still annoys me. Well, I'm barely keeping these areas under control. I might have to just abandon Flanders or Ile-de-France. Flanders is probably more valuable. It's got the better technology. But then they'll rebel anyway, because they might not attack. Or they won't attack, in fact. Okay. I'll have to give up Flanders. That's a bit of a kick in the teeth. Okay, let's see. Thanks to that ransom, I don't have a lot of money this turn. 250, 650, so 1,000. And then there'll be 1,300, 1,600, so 1,500. So anywhere that needs 60% farmland. I'm still fuming I lost that battle. Okay, Morocco, you can go and try for it. Czech Republic order, we know what the situation in Flanders is. In turn. Damn it, really? Oh, goody. Right. Can I win this? I'm gonna have to be clever. Wait, what? Okay. Didn't expect them to be starting straight in front of my face. Are they pursuing us? Nope. Didn't expect the enemy to deploy right in front of my army like that. Of course, they don't seem to have actually done anything. The main threat here is that unit is their general. I think I'll try to deploy my infantry on the flanks. Peasants won't really achieve much except run away and panic the rest of my army. So I need to draw his militia out into a fight and then cut them down. They need to be drawn out separately. I know those are peasants. Again, because they're ready to fight, there's no retreat modifier. I wonder if that's bugged or something. It's not the enemy archers I want to get to grips with. Although I need to be careful with these sailors because they're melee capable. It's alright, fine. If I can bring a few of those down, I suppose it won't be the end of the world. These armed militia will be effective against my armour as well. Good, tear them down. Pull back and let my armed militia handle it. Here they come. Oh, that was clever. Now they charge. Right. You need to move away. Can the peasants do something about this? Now you can be in skirmish mode. Skirmish away. I swear people who complain about the Total War AI need their eyes tested. Especially the early games. Just how much did the AI get right? They charged my archers, thus distracting thus distracting my critical troops. And then they struck with their key unit. I couldn't... What could they have done better than that? Well, they got into a shooting match with my troops early on, which was a bit disadvantageous. And they've managed to separate my troops as well, which means that which demonstrates that the AI is able to prioritise. Managed to get into the rear, but how much will that count for? These aren't shock troops. And then, oh god, look at this. Look at the banners. When you get into a fight with a unit like this, there's almost nothing you can do sometimes.
Your general has fallen, and your soldiers lose heart.
2 sides against 2 units of Almohad armed militia, and it's our units that go down. If that doesn't demonstrate how completely and utterly broken the Valor system is in this game. I didn't deserve that. Well, that's pathetic. Pull yourself together. Did you think this expert campaign was going to be a cakewalk? At least the city didn't fall. Right. Fine, they moved a few more troops and hit them again. Right, we've reorganised in Egypt. Put our armies together and hit them again. I don't think Egypt will be able to stand up to us this time. They've not had enough time to raise new soldiers with the ransom money. We've got some spearmen which will help. Should be fine. Sink them both. Yeah. They have that is one of the best commanders I've ever seen. 5 stars and brave beyond belief. That's why he beat us. Really? Ile-de-France is under control just like that? I wonder it was French agents that were causing the problems. Or maybe it's just the fact that I was considered overstretched. Or I think there might be some hidden mechanic which means that unrest is worse in provinces where you have multiple provinces with ongoing unrest and loyalty to the same faction next to one another. Because that drop from 150, that jumps up to 150 is quite spectacular. Right, we'll take a few more turns to regroup here. I think I'll move this. Right, let's actually take a look at what. Yeah, I'll move this stack over to Normandy because our next strike will be at Flanders. Move someone back to make sure we don't actually cause a revolt. Oh, that's what pushed us over the limit. Hopefully this hasn't messed up my recruitment patterns. It might have a little bit. Okay. Finances. Let's see. 900, 1500. I suppose we don't have our usual archer expenses. So I've got about 2,000 to spend. That's hardly worth it. Anjou's not got a lot of money. Can't do this in this game. I guess I'll make a start in a castle in Cordoba. Would be nice to have more heavily armored troops. And we'll send our troops north, as usual. So we'll have 2 sea battles this turn. Move these units in to check for loyalty. Okay, end turn. Again? Where's it going? There's units I'm missing. I reinforce again. So lots of peasants this time. I wasn't expecting resistance to be this heavy. They really are trying to stay. The Italians really are trying to stay in Aragon this time. Right, let's look at this objectively. Some of these are peasants, so they should be able to shut down. If I can get these with my units with my missile troops, I should remove the threat from them. The Genoese sailors are dangerous because I don't have a lot of troops to deal with them. At least I've got a reasonable general this time. But the cavalry could possibly give them some problems. Alright. Are they advancing against us? I think they're pulling back. Right, wait, before we do anything, what are they going to do? Oh, if they just go away, that would be wonderful. But it looks like it doesn't look like they positioned themselves in a particularly good area of the battlefield. We move up onto the hill. Okay. So we need to win the archery battle. Really? All of this we can't walk on? Doesn't seem right. Great, so this battlefield's not particularly well designed. Looks like there's a large part of it which is arbitrarily impassable. I've got to give the creative assembly team some credit. This was a very new kind of game back then. Large army simulators were kind of the only people in that particular market. I'm pretty sure this is just here to cause me to waste my fire. Here come the enemy archers. Not really sure we can afford to waste firepower like this. Can these guys come up, please? Oh, that's clever. They're moving up their more expendable archers first. Does anyone know who designed the AI for this game? Because I'm really impressed at times. It often makes decisions that I'd expect a human to make. Let's focus on winning this. It's fine. If the enemy peasants want to come out and fight, I can make that work. Right. Having identified what the enemy are trying to do, let's interfere with it. I'm going to go after those Genoese sailors. But now the peasants are going to be in the way. And they're using the peasants as shields for the archers. I don't think it's going to be enough. Uh-oh. And see, when the AI realizes it's losing, it starts to do something else. So they couldn't win at range, so they're attacking in melee because they know that their units can win that fight. It wasn't quite enough, but it did throw my line into chaos. I like this game. It's hard, but it's not hard in a oh my god the AI is cheating kind of way. More like you just need to get smart enough to beat it. And we can beat it. Those peasants shouldn't last too long, even with a good commander. Or even now they're managing to disrupt my shooting. You guys get forward again. Probably best not leave our ghouls just standing around doing nothing. Right. I was afraid of extracting them before, but I think they've pretty much been extracted now. These guys have been allowed to waste their arrows, and we've just got another entire unit of the Genoese sailors up on the top of the hill. What the AI should have done was, well, on the other hand, I suppose they're trying... Well, wait, this battle isn't done yet. I think I'm winning, but... Let's wait and see what the AI has in store for us. Why are these guys panicked? Whatever, they're gone. Probably more dangerous to try and get them back towards my lines now. I'll cause a panic as they start running away. Okay, I want to start pressing towards those. And let's try some more aggressive strategy of my own. I'm going to send my Murabitans out to threaten the enemy Genoese sailors. And let's get the Almohad or militia out towards us. Uh-oh. Another one of those archer charges, and this time my troops are too far away. Shoot, wrong unit. Get everything out the way, out to the sides. I can do this, and I'm not just saying that to try and encourage myself in the face of this terrifying Italian army. I have to say it's getting a lot less terrifying. They really should withdraw now, because I don't... well, again, we'll see. Right, nail those archers. Try and chop a flank off finally. Though I think there might be a bit of a coiled spring forming here. The AI has pulled a long way back and my troops are getting tired chasing them. So if they suddenly decide to attack downhill now... Okay. Okay, here they come. Can my cavalry please move? We know how this went last time. Get the cavalry involved. Lord of Bitten seem to have decided to go chasing after the enemy archers instead, which is annoying. Surely with these kinds of numbers we'll bring them down. Not that numbers meant anything last time. And bring them down. Kill that general, this battle's over. He's gone. Thank goodness for that. Or he will be in a moment. Of course, it could be, given how strong AI generals are in this game, it could be a long moment. I'm starting to make progress against the Italian menace, but not without them managing to make me lose my cool first. Will someone bring him down? He's one guy.
The enemy enemy general is dead.
Excellent.
Sent to the hell.
Of course, now I don't have any cavalry left to finish off the enemy army. The 2 units of Almohad are malicious. Caught in a sandwich between them, and he fights his way out. But thankfully my campaign position is strong enough that I can withstand the odd disaster like that. I've lost a lot to attacks like this though. I'm kind of just throwing everything forward now in hopes of breaking them. I really don't think that one bodyguard is going to win that battle. Let's get the rest of the army focused on this. And overtake them or something. There we go. Tune the arrow fire out so we don't hit the lap of that golem with, or for that matter our militia, with arrows by accident. That should be it. I hope. There we go. At least I know he's dead and not just captured. 2 victories. Things are going our way. And I have the largest military in the world. This is proving tough. And yes! A civil war has struck Egypt. Oh, marvellous. Absolutely marvellous. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay, this has been Napoleon Complex. Thank you for tuning in, and the war will continue next week. Farewell.